What's good, gamers? Happy New Year's, and let's just get part two of all of the huge drama about Andrew Tate and everything that's been going on. If you haven't already watched part one, it should be in the description, then come back to this video. And this video is going to be broken down into segments based off of people's responses to this whole scenario, and I just want to get it out of the way with the big number one, obviously being Triff. So, after posting about his defense of Tate and why he thinks that Tate is a role model and etc., he went live with a live stream in order to give his takes on everything, which you can see right here. Unfortunately, his VODs are sub only, but we do have clips, so let's just play two clips that I feel best encapsulate his overall reasoning for why he supports Tate.
It's misguided righteousness when, yes, it's bad that he's a misogynistic at times. However, it's huge what he's doing fighting the Matrix. He's risking his life fighting the Matrix. I'm defending freedom, and I'm defending the attack on freedom. That's what I'm defending. What people think is it's a battle of righteousness versus misogyny. That's not what this is. It's misguided.
If you hear those pops in the background, it's because it's literally New Year's while I'm filming this. Anyways.
Percent of what Andrew Tate talks about is stopping that life. What you guys see from him being misogynistic, it's not even Tate. It's the thousands and thousands of 10-year-olds on TikTok that take clips out of context of him, of something bad that he said ages ago. But if you actually follow his clips and his YouTube, he doesn't talk about girls ever. All he talks about.
Anyways, regarding Tate not talking about women or these being taken out of context, let's go to his personal website where he's had allegedly girlfriends basically brand his name onto them with tattoos, and talks about how his goal is to how his job was to efficiently get women in love with him and to assess the quality of women he is dating, which is absolute insanity to, you know, anyone, but sure, whatever. I guess 10-year-olds find that cool. Additionally, we have this really cool clip to show how much this guy, you know, really hates women's rights, or, you know, the overall credibility of women.
This is probably 40% of the reason I moved to Romania, because in Eastern Europe, none of this garbage flies. If you're going to go to the police and say he raped me back in 1988, they're going to say we should have done something about it then. If you go to the police and say he raped me yesterday, say, okay, if you've got physical evidence, or is there CCTV proof? Where'd it happen? Okay, let's go interview him right now. And if it wasn't really rape, I'd say, oh, we went to the club, we got drunk, she agreed to go back to my house, we started having sex, and then we carried on having sex, and then we had sex, and she didn't say anything wrong, and then she texted me afterwards, and I didn't text back, and now she's saying I raped her. The police would be like, okay, she's an idiot, bye. But no, not in the West. In the West, you can tell them that exact story, you're still fucked. You're fucked in the West. When people say, why do you live in Romania? And I explain my 5 reasons. One of them is the Me Too era. They go, oh, well, you're a rapist. I say, no, I'm not a fucking rapist. But I like the idea of being able to just say, to do what I want. I like being free. And if you're a man living in England or Germany or America or any of the Western world right now, you've decided to live in a country where any woman, any ex, any fucking bitch who works at Greg's who you bought a pasty from, at some point in the future can destroy your life. This Me Too era bullshit has not protected women. It's just destroyed the safety of men.
Glad he moved to Romania because he's scared of women, I guess, and that, well, I don't know, there's a whole lot to say, but the main two things is that, one, he very clearly brings up a hypothetical scenario in which he is trying to plant the seed of fear into your mind where any woman can ruin your life, so you gotta rein him in, or whatever the fuck. But B, also, he moved to Romania because he wants the freedom to do whatever you want, which apparently is sex trafficking, but that's neither here nor there. Even after everything Triff has really said or done, you know, just I mean, like, you know, stuff like this really doesn't help the, you know, the overall case in favor of Triff. I think he does truly want the best for his viewers. I truly think that in some deep aspect of his heart, he really wants to support his viewers and the community, and for everyone to be the best version of themselves that they can be, and he really does care about others. However, I don't think he's exactly very media savvy, or media trained idol culture coming in through when it comes to the content that he does decide to promote and post onto his timeline. Again, this is why I have this tweet where he quote retweets libs of TikTok with the 100 emojis and celebrating and fire as well. Thanks, Triff. Again, others who we will get onto later may feel differently about their position as a role model in the community or whatever, but I personally think, this is just my personal opinion, that if you do have a platform, you are in the unique space of being able to sincerely influence others and your audience with what you say. And Triff, over the years, I feel has done a very poor job at promoting messages that don't come across as tactless, toxic, out of pocket. You get the sort of idea. I wrote a very big tweet about this problem and with promoting toxic figures is that because initially they will make occasionally good points that anyone can really get behind, like live better and focus on self-improvement or get a job or whatever, but that doesn't mean it's okay to cherry pick those messages and to prop these figures up as righteous idols or role models, because while their nice messages are cherry picked out and spread, it's like everyone's like, oh, he's such a good guy, the overall message of them as a whole has a much more wider audience, and the darker and more harmful parts of their ideologies are picked up by audience members or people who are lost, they are fearful, they're angry or vulnerable, which can, radicalize them further into not just spreading hate, but going down even darker and darker rabbit holes as well. And as in the worst case, acting out in violence against others because of these ideologies. We've seen it happen with shootings in the past, and I really hope that there isn't an Andrew Tate fueled act of violence in the future. For every person who's saying, I look up to Tate for his dedication to men and for them to take back their lives and escape the Matrix or whatever, there is another saying, I idolize Tate because I want women to understand that they are subservient to me and therefore me, and that I should be the greatest Giga Chad in the world because I bought a $50 course. Additionally, if you do want to promote to your audience, a figure that promotes a healthier lifestyle and self-improvement and introspection, I recommend promoting people who aren't, misogynistic or sex traffickers or have ties to the Romanian mafia or run a pyramid scheme. Two of my favorites are Noah Diesel and Magnus Mitbo. They are people who I personally look up to when it comes to like fitness goals and self-improvement. Again, you don't have to promote a misogynist in order to get the point across that people should focus on themselves and improve their physical, mental, and otherwise health. There are tons of other people who are just as capable as doing that. Next up, we have Yassine, who is a competitive player within the Yu-Gi-Oh scene and has worked up with people like Sam in the past and is known for playing Cyber Dragons. Anyways, as we previously mentioned, he had said, free the top G and etc., and has now started a since-deleted Twitter thread about why he supports Tate. I'm going to go through the screenshots now, so just feel free to pause if you do want to give them a much closer look. But he essentially says that because of his Muslim identity, he does feel that he is not accepted by the left or right due to the racial stigmas against him and his culture, and that he is a quote-unquote purely free thinker and not influenced by outside sources or peer pressure, his words, not mine. And as a result, he feels that although he doesn't agree with some of the things that Tate does, such as, the Taliban or pimping, he agrees with the ideas of responsibility, self-improvement, stoicism, risk mitigation, which is also very funny because if you actually look at the Hustlers University 2.0 course, which some people have done deep dives on, they actually promote options trading and crypto, which if you have any financial literacy, know that those are the two worst things you could possibly do and will immediately blow up your account and your life. But, that's neither here nor there. But he ultimately goes on to say that point is, Andrew Tate doesn't pretend to be tolerant or anything. He just pushes men to be more responsible and masculine and hopes that women can act more feminine, which I agree with. Again, the same points about promoting individuals who are actually wholesome and non-misogynistic sex traffickers that work with the mafia that I mentioned before with Triff, but I did want to touch on the idea of masculinity versus femininity because I feel that especially with the tides of change in regards to what people are more comfortable exploring within themselves, and people, again, being more comfortable to come out into the open about what they feel that they are, whether it be sexual, gender orientation, blah, 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 that sort of deal. I feel that trying to promote people or, personally just trying to box people into a men should be X and women Y is very, very harmful, and people should be free to explore who or what they are instead of feeling that they need to appeal to tradition or stereotyping, both of which, like, let's be honest, not a lot of us really fit into. After this thread was posted, Yassine ultimately announced that he would be deleting his Twitter account, and that's the end of that. Part 3 is Nesh, who went on a very strong Twitter tirade against people talking out versus Triff, who he considered to be a good and genuine personality. You can see that in this thread, let's just say a lot of people, including big names such as Farfa and a bunch of other people, you know, were kind of just saying like, hey dog, you're kind of acting a bit verbally violent and towards basically everyone. But if you take all the emotion out, he's basically trying to say that Triff is a good guy and his tweets don't like and define a person. Stop trying to cancel people. I think that people can move on from their past. My super old viewers remember the Stevie streams of 2020 where I was very, very toxic. I said a lot of gamer words. I was extremely rude and toxic and blew up on chat members and Discord members and all other sorts of disgusting behaviors that many communities still shun and hate me for. I know, because I've seen a lot of them. But hopefully, I have moved on from that sort of life and have grown to be a better person through my actions. However, I feel that with Triff, this sort of promotional posting of accounts such as Libs of TikTok, Andrew Tate, and many other instances over the years of him being ignorant of many serious issues and jokes made in poor taste at other people's expense, especially marginalized groups, is why I feel that he still hasn't really changed or grown up from his gamer arc, and why people are being especially hard on the crackdown when it comes to him right now. Again, I sincerely hope that Triff learns to proofread his tweets and can do at least some research to what he decides to post on main, and I hope that Nesh can understand that although people can be good and genuine people at their heart, that doesn't excuse a repeated history into the present of hatred or ignorance that, again, carries over. And finally, we have Ava, a trans creator within the community who has decided to speak out against and for Triff, which is very interesting. You could read the thread for yourself, of course, but essentially she goes on to say that she finds Triff to be a genuine and supportive person, that she disagrees with his stance on how he treats his social media and the messages that he promotes, and overall hopes that Triff can improve overall, and that she still sees Triff as a friend and a good person. And let's just say that Twitter decided to very much go off on her for, you know, trying to defend Triff. People were saying like, nah, the dick eating is crazy though, which is ironic because she's a lesbian. Additionally, people were saying like, you know, this is just copium, whatever. Look, I think that people are being way too fucking mean to her. Like, let's tone it back. Let's understand that if you really read through the thread, that she is not making excuses for his behavior. In fact, she actually abhors it at times. She just wants to see a friend of hers improve for the better, and that she has made it very clear that she does not support Andrew Tate's ideology, or that Triff decides to promote that, as well as a lot of other stuff that he's posted in the past. She was already harassed, you know, like 2 days ago regarding, you know, a bunch of other stuff, so let's just... She doesn't need to be further bullied, and we need to push someone out just because of she has hope for a friend. Let's just, you know, support Ava in holding out hope for a friend, even if that friend may have made a lot of mistakes in the past and present. And finally, we have the most insane tweeter himself, Chris Lofton, who said, "Why are y'all so concerned with someone who somebody else likes and dislikes?" Which can be answered with, "So I don't accidentally end up promoting or supporting a misogynist or worse. I don't want to buy, you know, a VHS of Rurouni Kenshin if that means I'm going to be supporting a literal pedophile with royalties. By the way, that is real. Kenshin's creator was arrested on CV charges." But somebody replied, "Would you be concerned if a person whose opinions and content you are interested in suddenly turned out to support the KKK?" Which, if you don't know, is a racist hate group in America. Well, turns out Lofton would, because no, it would not bother him, because it has nothing to do with him, which is insanity. That's all I could say. I guess Lofton wouldn't mind supporting the KKK, or people. I don't know. It's a lot. Finally, I just want to say that I don't want this issue to die with a whimper or be forced into silence. I am tired of issues like, you know, all this just being swept under the rug by creators who refuse to acknowledge it, or just be like, hey guys, let's just stick to Yu-Gi-Oh! And these sort of issues die out in a complete whimper and people just get forced into silence. or just don't want to comment on these sort of things overall, because complacency breeds comfortability in those who want to spread hate, and I do not want these issues to be forgotten just because a new Duel Knights episode is coming out where MBT and Triff are in there, which are the two most dichotomic people of all time, that everyone's like popping off and it's all crazy, and like these issues just die out. People become more comfortable posting hateful messages or misogynistic messages and all over again. This is like the main reason why Yu-Gi-Oh has sort of been this sort of gamer culture centric group, with a very hard emphasis on the gamer. But yeah, let's do our best to support people. Let's do our best to support people's change, and let's do our best to stamp out hatred within the Yu-Gi-Oh community and promote personalities who are actually wholesome and looking out for people's physical, mental, and otherwise health, rather than fucking Andrew Tate of all people. Anyways, that's all. Happy New Year's, everyone. Peace.